Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a fascinating journey, really exploring this Japanese concept of ikigai.
Yeah, Ikigai, it often gets described as the happiness of always being busy.
Right, and it seems deeply connected to living a long, meaningful life. You might think it's like the French raison d'être.
Your reason for being
Yeah.
sure, or maybe Viktor Frankl's logotherapy, which is all about finding meaning.
Exactly. But ikigai feels, well, maybe a bit richer, more woven into everyday purpose.
It's really striking when you look at places like Okinawa in Japan. Their longevity rates are just quite remarkable.
How remarkable are we talking?
Well, they have something like 24, maybe 25 centenarians, people over 100 for every 100,000 inhabitants.
Wow, that's significantly higher than, most other places.
Definitely. And even within Okinawa, there's this village called Ogimi.
Ah, yes, Village of Longevity.
That's the one. It boasts the highest life expectancy globally,
Now, naturally, you think diet, maybe climate,
Right.
and sure, those play a part.
of course. But we want to dig into other factors too, like this very idea of ikigai, and also their incredibly strong community ties.
They have specific words for those, don't they?
They do. Beautiful terms like yumoru, which means teamwork or cooperation,
Uh-huh.
and ikaribachode, which basically means treat everyone like a brother, even if you've just met them.
That's lovely. So what's our goal with this deep dive then?
Well, I think we really want to understand the secrets, if you will, behind the long lives of these Japanese centenarians.
And more than just understanding.
Right. We want to see if we can pull out some practical tools, some ideas that you, listening, can use to find your own ikigai.
Because the core idea is if you find that reason for being, it provides so much of what you need for a long and, importantly, a joyful life.
Exactly. And we'll be drawing quite a bit from the book Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life, by Héctor García and Francesc Miralles.
It's a great guide, explores all these different elements contributing to longevity and well-being. Okay, so let's start unpacking this. The book kicks off highlighting this fundamental Japanese belief. Everyone has an ikigai,
Mm-hmm. A unique reason for being.
but it's not always obvious, right? It might take some, patient searching to find it within yourself.
Absolutely. It's that core thing that makes the Okinawans, these sort of masters of aging well, eager to get up in the morning.
It's interesting how this connects to our Western idea of retirement.
It really is.
Mhm.
In Japan, the concept of just stopping work completely isn't really the norm.
So people keep doing things they love.
Yeah, for as long as their health allows. It's telling that there isn't really a direct Japanese word for retire in the English sense.
That speaks volumes about the cultural mindset.
It does. Dan Buettner, who studies these blue zones of longevity, really emphasizes how deep this sense of purpose runs in Japanese culture.
And here's where it gets really fascinating. Studies suggest that this strong sense of community, like the Moai groups we'll talk about, combined with having a clear ikigai, might be just as important for a long life as their healthy diet, maybe even more important.
That's what the research on centenarians in Okinawa and other blue zones points towards. It's a consistent finding.
And another incredible finding from those studies.
The low rates of dementia.
Exactly. Remarkably low.
It's worth looking at the word ikigai itself. The characters are ego.
Okay, break that down for us.
So iki is pretty straightforward life.
Right.
But ki is where it gets interesting. It means to be worthwhile.
Ah, okay.
And if you look even closer at ego, the first character, oka, can mean things like armor, or number one, even to be the first, or lead.
Armor, like protection or striving.
Could be interpreted that way.
Yeah.
And the second character, kaya, means beautiful or elegant.
So it's not just living, it's living in a way that feels valuable, maybe even beautiful, taking the lead in making it worthwhile.
That's a great way to put it. It suggests initiative, crafting a meaningful existence.
So what this seems to boil down to for the Okinawans is that this focus on their ikigai gives them this deep sense of purpose.
Absolutely. And the research strongly suggests this purpose plays a huge role in their health and longevity.
The book mentions those 4 key factors identified in blue zones.
Right. Diet, exercise, purpose, the ikigai, and strong social connections.
And beyond those pillars, their lifestyle includes things like managing stress,
Eating mostly plants, not much meat or processed food.
moderate alcohol, maybe a little sick.
Though some groups, like Adventists studied in other blue zones, abstain completely, But yeah, often moderate consumption, maybe with friends or food.
And that daily low-intensity movement,
Yeah,
walking, gardening.
exactly. Not necessarily hitting the gym hard, but constant, gentle movement.
And speaking of diet, that saying, hara hachibu,
Yes, said often before or after meals. Fill your belly to 80%.
such simple wisdom. Don't overeat.
It makes sense, right? Less burden on your system, less cellular oxidation. Stopping when you're just starting to feel full.
And how they serve food helps too, doesn't it?
Definitely. Lots of small plates. You might get a tray with several different dishes.
So it looks like a feast, but the portions are controlled.
Exactly. It helps people naturally eat less. It's often why Westerners lose weight when they move to Japan.
You mentioned community earlier. The book talks about moai in Okinawa.
Right, these informal groups, people with common interests who genuinely support each other.
Like a chosen family, almost.
Very much so. It apparently grew out of farmers sharing practices and helping each other out. For many Okinawans, their moai is a big part of their ikigai.
How does it work financially?
Typically, members chip in a small amount each month. It funds group activities, dinners, hobbies,
Okay.
and if there's extra money, it often gets distributed amongst the members in turn. So it provides emotional support and a kind of financial safety net.
That sense of stability and belonging must be huge for longevity.
Research suggests it really is. It
Yeah.
demonstrably adds years to life expectancy.
Okay, one last point from this first section. Active mind, youthful body.
Yes, that classic idea, mens sana in corpore sano, a sound mind in a sound body. Keeping the mind active and adaptable is key.
So mental exercise is just as important as physical.
Absolutely. Just like sitting too much is bad physically, mental inactivity lets those neural connections weaken.
We need to challenge our brains.
That's what neuroscientist Shlomo Bresnitz argues. The brain needs stimulation. New information creates new connections, keeps it vital.
It's easy to get stuck in routines, especially as we age.
It is. But breaking those routines, engaging with new things, that's crucial for brain health.
And the book mentions that learning new things actually improves your mood too.
Yes, according to maximum brain power. Even if a new task feels hard at first, the act of learning strengthens the brain, and as you get better, it feels good.
So it's this cycle of engagement, learning, and positive feeling that helps keep us young. Okay, great foundation. Let's move into anti-aging secrets.
Right, and a big one here is stress. The book really dives into how stress affects aging.
Cite some studies.
Yeah, the American Institute of Stress links it to a huge number of health problems. And a Heidelberg University study found the body's stress response can actually harm healthy cells.
Like mimicking an attack by a pathogen, but damaging ourselves instead.
Exactly. Potentially accelerating aging.
And there was that University of California study linking it directly to cells.
Right, the telomeres, those protective caps on the ends of our chromosomes. Stress weakens them.
Affecting how cells regenerate.
Precisely. The more stress, the bigger the negative effect on the cells. Faster shortening of telomeres.
So how does this stress response work? We know the adrenaline rush.
Well, it's a natural survival mechanism. Perceived danger triggers the pituitary gland, releases corticotropin, then the adrenals pump out adrenaline and cortisol.
Fight or flight. Useful back in the caveman days.
Essential then. But the problem now is chronic, low-level stress. Our brain can interpret emails, notifications, traffic jams as threats.
So we get these constant little doses of cortisol.
Exactly. And over time, that constant drip, drip, drip has really negative health impacts. Adrenal fatigue, chronic fatigue, memory issues, irritability, insomnia, anxiety, high blood pressure. The list goes on.
So short bursts can be good, but this sustained modern stress is the real enemy.
That's the key distinction, which brings us to mindfulness.
How can we consciously reduce this chronic stress?
The book pushes for self-awareness, noticing our reactions, breaking free from those automatic stress responses, connecting with the present moment.
Turning off the autopilot, as Roberto Alcibar put it, he changed his whole life because of stress, right?
He did. From finance to teaching mindfulness, his point is we need to be more conscious of our actions and feelings.
And the book suggests practical ways: meditation, breathing.
Yeah, meditation, focused breathing, yoga, body scans. Tools to help us filter out the noise and become more present.
It takes practice, though.
Absolutely. It's a gradual process, training the mind. But it reduces stress and contributes to longevity.
But then the book throws in a curveball. Not all stress is bad.
Right. It makes a distinction. Chronic stress is harmful, definitely. But low levels of stress can actually be beneficial.
How so?
Dr. Howard S. Friedman's research found people who had some stress, embraced challenges, and were dedicated to their work actually lives longer than those who took it easy and retired early.
Interesting. So a bit of positive pressure combined with purpose can be good.
It seems so, which leads nicely into the importance of just being active.
Not necessarily marathon running, but avoiding being sedentary.
Exactly. It's crucial at all ages. Sedentary habits are linked to obesity and health issues, even in kids. Small changes add up.
Like taking the stairs, walking more.
Yes. Using stairs, walking instead of driving short distances, cutting down screen time with social activities, swapping junk food for fruit.
Getting enough sleep is on that list too.
Absolutely. 7, 9 hours, playing with kids or pets, maybe joining a sports team. Just being conscious of daily habits and making healthier swaps.
Okay, let's talk about sleep itself. The book calls it a key anti-aging tool.
It focuses on melatonin, the hormone we produce during sleep.
And melatonin is powerful stuff.
Very. It's a potent antioxidant, strengthens the immune system, might protect against cancer, helps insulin production, potentially slows Alzheimer's onset, helps prevent osteoporosis, fights heart disease.
Wow. But production decreases as we age.
Tends to, yeah, especially after age 30.
So how can we support it?
The book suggests a balanced diet with calcium, getting some moderate sun exposure, obviously prioritizing good sleep habits, and avoiding things that disrupted alcohol, tobacco, caffeine, especially later in the day.
Makes sense. And the final anti-aging secret mentioned.
It comes back to the mind, the power of mindset, keeping the mind active, that link to Ikigai again, and being resilient in the face of challenges.
Resilience, that's key.
It is. The Yeshiva University study found longevity was linked to a positive attitude and high emotional awareness.
So optimism and emotional management help you live longer.
It seems that way. People who handle difficulties well are already on a better path.
And the book wraps this section with that lovely song from the Ogimi Elder.
Yes. The nearly 100-year-old woman's advice. Eat a bit of everything, sleep well, wake early, walk, live serenely, enjoy the journey and the seasons. Keep your fingers busy.
A beautiful summary. Okay, let's shift focus now to finding purpose, from logotherapy to Ikigai.
Right. This starts with Viktor Frankl and logotherapy.
His psychotherapy focused on finding meaning, right, to deal with neuroses.
Exactly. He famously asked patients, "Why do you not commit suicide?" Their answers often revealed their core reasons for living.
How does logotherapy differ from, say, traditional psychoanalysis?
Well, psychoanalysis digs into unconscious conflicts, often rooted in instinctual drives. Logotherapy operates more on a spiritual level, dealing with meaning beyond just instincts.
And their stance on faith differs too.
Generally, yes. Psychoanalysis is often seen as incompatible with religious faith, while logotherapy can be. Psychoanalysis aims to resolve conflicts and satisfy impulses. Logotherapy aims to find meaning and align with moral principles.
The book talks about existential frustration. What's that?
It's that feeling when life seems purposeless, or your purpose feels blocked. But Frankl saw it as a potential catalyst.
A signal that change is needed.
Precisely. Like Nietzsche said, he who has a why to live for can bear with almost anyhow. That why is crucial.
Frankl believed we need challenges, not just peace and quiet.
Yeah, he felt well-being comes from the tension between our achievements and our future goals. We need something to strive for.
Contrasted with existential crisis, which sounds more severe.
It is. The book describes it as common in modern life, where people follow the crowd or perceived obligations instead of their own desires.
Leading to emptiness, trying to fill the void.
Exactly, with possessions or pleasure-seeking or just numbing out. In extreme cases, it can contribute to suicidal thoughts. There's even Sunday neurosis, that empty feeling when the workweek structure vanishes.
Did Frankl find this was common?
His team did. At the Vienna Polyclinic, they found around 55% of patients had some degree of existential crisis. Logotherapy aims to fill that void by helping people discover their purpose.
Frankl himself is a powerful example, turning his horrific experiences into his life's work.
Absolutely. He could look back with a sense of fulfillment because of that.
So, key takeaways from logotherapy. Meaning is discovered, not invented.
Right. And each person's meaning is unique and can change. Also, focusing too hard on a desire can paradoxically block it.
Humor helps.
Yes, it can break negative cycles. And ultimately, our choices define us more than our circumstances.
The book gives case studies, like Frankl's own observations in the concentration camps.
Yes, he saw that those with a strong purpose, something to live for after the camps, had a better chance of survival. He realized later he was his own first logotherapy patient.
And the suicidal mother who found meaning in caring for her son.
A powerful example. Imagining her deathbed, helped her see the purpose already present in her dedication.
Or the grieving doctor finding solace by realizing he spared his wife suffering.
Exactly. Shifting perspective to find meaning even in loss.
Then the book introduces another approach, Morita therapy, also Japanese.
Yes. It focuses on accepting feelings as they are, taking necessary action regardless, and discovering your life purpose, your Ikigai, through that action.
So less analyzing feelings, more doing. Learning through experience.
That's the core idea. It often involves phases:
Mm.
rest, light work, heavier work, then reintegration into social life.
And it has specific questions for conflict.
It does. To manage interpersonal issues, it asks, what have I received from this person? What have I given? What problems have I caused?
Shifts focus from blame to personal responsibility.
Exactly. And Morita advised waiting before reacting to anger, letting intense feelings naturally subside.
So both logotherapy and Morita therapy point towards finding your Ikigai as fundamental.
Yes. Finding that personal mission, that existential fuel, it takes courage and effort to stay on that path.
Which sets us up nicely for the next sections on flow, diet, exercise, resilience. Okay, let's dive into finding flow.
Great. This brings in Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi and his concept of flow.
That state of being totally absorbed in what you're doing.
Precisely. Complete immersion, often accompanied by pleasure, creativity, a feeling of being fully present. The book calls it the optimal experience.
And achieving this is key to living according to your Ikigai.
That's the connection. It's that feeling where time disappears, nothing else matters.
The book contrasts flow activities with things giving just immediate pleasure, right? Like binge watching TV versus playing an instrument.
Exactly. Urging focus on activities that induce flow. Csikszentmihalyi defined it as doing something for the sheer sake of doing it, because the experience itself is so rewarding.
What conditions make flow more likely? Csikszentmihalyi listed some.
You did. 7 key ones.
Yeah.
Knowing what to do, knowing how to do it, getting feedback on how you're doing, knowing where you're going, if it's progressive,
Okay.
perceiving significant challenges, but also perceiving you have the skills to meet them, and crucially, being free from distractions.
That balance between challenge and skill seems vital.
It is. The book calls it Strategy 1. Choose a difficult task, but not too difficult.
Yeah.
It uses Schaffer's model.
Too easy leads to boredom. Too hard leads to anxiety or frustration.
Exactly. You need that sweet spot, the middle path that stretches you just enough. Like Hemingway saying, sometimes I write better than I can.
Or Russell on the need for concentration for difficult achievements. Finding the right level.
Right. Like picking a book that's engaging but not so complex you give up.
Okay, strategy 2.
Have a clear, concrete objective. Think video games or sports. Clear rules, clear goals make flow easier.
So define your aims for whatever you're doing. Work, creative projects.
Yes. Ask yourself, what's my goal for this hour? What outcome am I aiming for? Having that clarity reduces anxiety and helps you lock in.
Einstein quote in there about a happy man being satisfied with the present.
Yes. Clear objectives keep you focused here and now. Vague goals lead to confusion. Clear goals lead to flow. Or sometimes, lack of clarity just leads to a mental block.
Makes sense. Strategy 3 seems like the biggest challenge today. Concentrate on a single task.
Huge challenge. We think we can multitask, but the science says otherwise.
Our brains just switch tasks rapidly, wasting energy, making mistakes.
Exactly. Productivity drops, errors increase, retention suffers. Single tasking is essential for flow. You need that distraction-free focus and sense of control.
Technology often works against this, pulling our attention.
It does. The book warns about letting tech take control, leading to procrastination. Stanford studies even linked heavy multitasking to difficulty focusing and signs of depression.
So single tasking equals more flow, better work, fewer errors, less stress. Multitasking is the opposite.
Pretty much sums it up.
Okay, so how do we do it? Practical tips.
Lots of good ones. Avoid screens first and last hour of the day. Turn off the phone when focusing. Use Do Not Disturb, maybe a tech-free day per week.
Work somewhere without Wi-Fi sometimes. Limit email checks.
Yes, use techniques like Pomodoro. Have start-end rituals for work sessions. Train your mind to return to the present. Practice mindfulness.
Find quiet spaces, libraries, dedicated studios.
Right. Group similar tasks. Bundle routine chores. Create dedicated time and space.
And the benefits of flow are huge. Focus, presence, no worry, time flies, feeling in control.
Compared to distraction. Wandering mind, dwelling on past future, worry, time drags, feeling overwhelmed, self-doubt.
It's a stark contrast. Okay, what about flow in Japan? Takumis, otakus.
Yeah, the book highlights how these master artisans, Ikumi, engineers, geniuses, even dedicated fans of Taku, embody flowing with their Ikigai.
It touches on that Japanese perseverance, ganbaru.
Yes, intense application even to simple tasks, and their knack for blending tradition with technology.
Tell us about the Takumi examples, Toyota screw makers.
Right, or artisans making turntable needles by hand skills technology can't replicate.
Right.
The author visited brush maker in Kumano, saw that deep dedication. It links back to Sixet Mahali's point about meaningful challenges.
And Jiro dreams of sushi. That's a perfect example.
Absolutely. Decades perfecting sushi. His son spending years just on the egg omelet, the tamago.
Sushi is their ikigai. You see the flow in their focused work.
Totally. Their small, quiet restaurant focus on quality, not expansion. Their dedication to sourcing the best ingredients, linked even to Shinto ideas of nature spirits, kami. The artisan gives life to the creation.
Then there's Studio Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki.
Another great example of intense ikigai. His films often critique our disconnect from nature, exploring humans' tech, fantasy, nature.
Like the polluted spirit in Spirited Away.
A powerful metaphor. And Miyazaki himself is totally absorbed in his art. Hand drawing, working constantly, even after retiring.
Can someone that passionate ever truly retire?
It begs the question, doesn't it? His passion just drives him.
The book also mentions recluses, artists, scientists working till the end.
Yes, like Einstein working on his final theories, loving physics and music, or Murakami protecting his creative time. Extreme examples of applying flow principles.
But flow isn't just for geniuses. What about microflow?
This is fascinating, enjoying mundane tasks. The example is the Tokyo elevator operator, turning her job into a performance.
Adding complexity or flair to routine things.
Exactly. Doodling in class, whistling while painting, Bill Gates enjoying washing dishes, even Feynman doing office chores, finding small moments of engagement.
And meditation as a shortcut to flow. An instant vacation.
The idea is that meditation exercises those mental muscles needed for focus, helping you reach that state faster. Observing thoughts without judgment leads to relaxed brainwaves.
Finally, rituals over goals. How does that fit?
In Japan, process and manners are often highly valued. Rituals are everywhere, rooted in tradition.
And rituals help flow because they provide clear rules and steps.
Precisely. They break down tasks, provide structure. The focus shifts to the doing, enjoying the daily rituals themselves, rather than just the outcome.
So happiness might be more about time spent in flow than about achieving big goals.
That's the argument. The journey, not just the destination.
And how can we use all this to find our own ikigai?
The suggestion is, list activities that put you in flow, then analyze them. What do they have in common? Alone or with others? Physical or mental? Flow is like a muscle. Practice it, and you get closer to your ikigai.
Great advice. Okay, let's turn to the masters of longevity. What can we learn from super centenarians?
This chapter shares wisdom directly from people who lived incredibly long lives, 110 years or more.
Like Misao Okawa, who lived to 117.
Yes. Her advice was simple. Eat and sleep, and you'll live a long time. You have to learn to relax. Sushi and sleep were her staples. She had a tremendous thirst for life.
And Maria Capovilla, 116. Her secret.
I've never eaten meat in my life. Simple as that. She seems surprised by her own longevity.
John Comment, 122. The record holder. Her outlook.
Everything's fine. She was active, biking till 100, lived alone till 110, had a great sense of humor too.
And Walter Burning, 114.
His advice: if you keep your mind and body busy, you'll be around a long time. 2 meals a day, worked as long as he could, daily exercise, keep active mind and body.
The book also includes artists like Hokusai.
Yes, the painter. He lived to 88, but had this view of lifelong learning, improving with age, aiming for his art to be truly alive even at 110.
And those contemporary artists from the NYT article. Plummer, Tezuka, Wiseman.
A common thread. None retired from their passion. Plummer, wanting to drop dead on stage. Tezuka's last words, please, just let me work. Herrera focused on the next thing.
T.H. White on learning, Wilson on big questions, Kelly on clarity with age, Gary on patience and curiosity.
It's all about staying engaged, finding joy and purpose in what you do right to the end. That seems to be a consistent theme among these long-lived, fulfilled people.
So community, activity, and that guiding ikigai, keeping busy with meaningful work, that's the essence.
It really seems to be. These masters embody the power of purpose and passion. Okay, now let's get specific with lessons from Japan's centenarians in Ogimi.
Right. The authors actually went there to the Village of Longevity.
They did, met with locals like Taira and Yuki at the community center, and immediately noticed the importance of those moai, the support groups. Ogimi itself is described as lush, green, near the Yanbaru jungle.
And that interesting comment at the restaurant food is the least important thing.
Yes. Yuki emphasized the secret was smiling and having a good time. Social connection over just diet.
Their social life sounds rich, centered around these neighborhood community centers.
Very much so. 17 neighborhoods, each with leaders looking after things, including longevity efforts, strong local organization.
And the local folklore, the Bunagaya spirits, playful nature sprites.
Adds to that sense of connection with the environment, which seems important there.
The birthday party scene sounds wonderful. Celebrating an 83-year-old as the youngest.
Exactly. Singing, homemade cake, dancing, lots of community celebrations, karaoke, festivals. Celebrating life together seems key.
And playing games like gate ball, even at 104. Fun and community.
Definitely. It's not just about solemn duty. It's about enjoyment together.
What about spirituality? Ryuki Shinto.
It's described as a blend Taoism, Confucianism, Buddhism, Shintoism, plus shamanistic elements.
Yeah.
Deep reverence for nature spirits, sacred sites.
Women have a prominent spiritual role. And ancestor worship.
Yes. Yuta mediums are often women. And ancestor worship with home altars, but Sudan is important.
And the concept of mabui, life force.
Right. Seen as immortal, a person's essence. As another layer to their worldview.
So the overall impression of Ogimi life is relaxed but purposeful.
That's how the authors saw it. People pursuing their Ikigai. Busy but not rushed.
And the book distills direct advice from the elders, the keys to the Ogimi lifestyle.
Yes, grouped into themes. First, don't worry, greet people, avoid conflict, prioritize fun and togetherness.
Second, cultivate good habits. Early rising, gardening, cooking, keeping busy, exercise, remembering ancestors, varied diet.
Third, nurture your friendships every day. Daily social interaction is vital.
Fourth, live an unhurried life. One thing at a time, early bed rise, walk, live peacefully, enjoy the small things.
And fifth, be optimistic. Positive outlook, feel young, laugh, enjoy family, feel fortunate, choose to smile.
It paints a picture. Gardens, community groups, celebrations, music, purpose, but relaxed. Pride in tradition.
Exactly. A holistic approach to well-being. Now let's look specifically at the Ikigai diet.
Starts with those impressive longevity stats for Japan again, and Okinawa even higher.
Reinforces the point. Then circles back to Harahachibu, the 80% rule.
Practical tips. Skip dessert, smaller portions, and the small plates helping naturally.
Yes. It also notes this isn't new. Even 12th century Zen monks advised eating less. Ancient wisdom.
The book discusses calorie restriction generally, eating less but high nutritional value.
Right. Focus on superfoods. Avoid empty calories. Potential benefits are lower IGF-1, less lethargy, protection against chronic diseases. Though impact on human lifespan specifically is still studied. Intermittent fasting gets a brief mention too.
Okay, the core Okinawan diet staples.
Lots of sweet potato, a nutrient powerhouse. Tofu and soy products are fundamental, abundant green and yellow vegetables.
Goya, the bitter melon, seaweed, shiitake mushrooms.
All common.
Yeah.
And their popular tea, sampancha.
That's the jasmine and green tea blend, drunk daily.
Yes, average 3 cups. Combines green tea antioxidants with potential benefits from jasmine heart health, immunity, stress relief, cholesterol lowering. Good alternatives are jasmine or quality green tea.
The book praises green tea generally, too.
Definitely. Long medicinal history. Benefits like cholesterol control, blood sugar regulation, better circulation, flu protection, Vit C, bone health, antibacterial effects, UV protection, cleansing effects, thanks to air drying without fermentation. White tea might be even higher in antioxidants.
And for us Westerners, that antioxidant canon.
A helpful list of accessible foods. Broccoli, chard, oily fish, salmon, tuna, citrus, berries, especially blueberries, goji, dried fruits, oats, wheat, olive oil, moderate red wine. Practical takeaways. Okay, next. Gentle movements, longer life.
Key idea here. It's not about intense workouts, but integrating movement naturally.
Exactly. The longest living people just move throughout their day.
And sitting too much is actively harmful. Slows metabolism, drops good cholesterol.
Yes, Gavin Bradley's research highlighted that. Simple breaks from sitting make a difference.
The book introduces Radio Taiso, the Japanese morning warm-up.
Yes, long history. Originally on radio, now TV internet. Promotes unity, widely practiced even in nursing homes. a refreshing daily ritual.
Yoga gets mentioned too. Uniting mind and body, sun salutations.
Briefly, yes, highlighting its adaptability and the basic sequence of a sun salutation.
And Tai Chi, Chinese martial art, popular in Japan.
Right. Roots in Buddhism, Confucianism.
Mm-hmm.
Evolved from self-defense, mental force, agility, to practice for health and inner peace. Yang style is most common slow, fluid movements, basic sequence outlined.
Then there's Qigong. Qi for life force, Gong for work.
Yes, based on ancient Taoyin. Involves static and dynamic exercises, coordinating breath and movement to strengthen Qi. Gentle, but can be profound.
The book lists lots of proven benefits for Qigong. Brainwaves, hormones, heart health, bones, circulation, cognition.
A very long list. Improved balance, mind-body connection, reduced cancer treatment side effects. Definitely positioned as helping longevity and fitness. It goes into specific movements related to the 5 elements, but the core is breath and gentle movement for energy cultivation.
Like a moving meditation, shiatsu gets a mention too. Pressure points.
Yes, the Japanese practice using thumb palm pressure, stretching, breathing for body equilibrium.
And the importance of breath itself. Ancient Chinese texts linking exhalations to seasons and organs.
Interesting detail, emphasizing quiet, complete exhalation. The common thread in all these Eastern practices is combining movement with breath awareness.
Helping align mind and body, reduce mental chatter. Very relevant. Okay, let's tackle resilience and wabi-sabi.
Starts by defining resilience, pursuing passion despite setbacks, focusing on what matters, managing negative emotions, and introduces anti-fragility.
How we handle difficult times is crucial for quality of life. Resilience needs training.
Exactly. And that proverb, fall 7 times, rise 8, nanakorobi yaoki.
Bouncing back, returning to what gives life meaning, like the Serenity Prayer implies.
Yes, accept what you can't change, courage for what you can, wisdom to know the difference.
How do Buddhism and Stoicism help build emotional resilience?
Both aim to curb the ego and control negative emotions. Buddha found a middle path. Enjoy pleasures mindfully, avoid attachment. Stoics like Zeno aim for tranquility, apatheia, by managing desires and preparing for loss. Controlling emotions seen as virtuous in Stoicism.
The Stoics practiced negative visualization, imagining the worst.
Not to worry, but to prepare. Appreciate what you have by considering its loss. Seneca even lived simply sometimes to practice what's the worst that could happen as a tool.
And meditation, like in Zen, helps detach from desires and emotions.
By observing them without judgment, training the mind not to be swept away. The mantra, Ume Padme, focuses on purifying negativity.
Both philosophies stress living in the present.
Crucial point, it's the only time we control. Thich Nhat Hanh. The only moment in which you can be truly alive is the present moment.
Stoics also reflected on impermanence. Marcus Aurelius' leaf analogy.
Yes. Loved ones are like leaves. Change is natural. Similar to Buddhist ideas, awareness of impermanence should lead to appreciating the present, not pessimism. Seneca. All things human are short-lived. Understanding this lessens pain from loss.
This connects to wabi-sabi, finding beauty in imperfection and impermanence.
Exactly. Appreciating flawed natural things like an irregular teacup. It embraces the transient.
And ichigo-ichi, this moment, only now.
Yes. A reminder to cherish each unique encounter, be fully present. Used in tea ceremonies, Zen, martial arts. Don't worry about past or future.
So wabi-sabi accepts imperfection. Ichigo-ichi stresses presence. They work together, contrasted with Western focus on permanence.
Right. Japanese architecture often embraces wabi-sabi, acknowledging impermanence, like the Ai's Grand Shrine rebuilt every 20 years. Accept what you can't control. Ichigo-ichi teaches how to live with impermanence. Presence, wabi-sabi teaches appreciation of it.
Okay, now anti-fragility. Beyond resilience, getting stronger from shocks.
Yes. Like the Hydra myth, cut off one head, 2 grow back. Fragile breaks, resilient recovers, anti-fragile improves from stress.
The tsunami example. Fragile ghost towns, resilient rebuilt towns, anti-fragile construction firms.
A good illustration.
How do we become more anti-fragile? Step 1. Create redundancies.
Have backups. Finances, health, career skills, relationships, interests. Don't put all eggs in one basket. The Ogimi elders often had a main job plus gardening, selling produce.
Applies to relationships too, not relying solely on one person.
That's the suggestion. Spread your dependencies.
So resilience and anti-fragility mean seeing setbacks as growth opportunities.
Exactly. Don't fear adversity. Get stronger with each challenge. Refine your path. Stay focused on Ikigai.
Taleb's quote about needing randomness and mess for life to be worthwhile.
Yes. Embrace the imperfection. Life is wabi-sabi, imperfect and fleeting, but with Ikigai, each moment has potential.
Okay, let's wrap up with the outro. This starts with Mitsuo Aida, the calligrapher and poet, an example of dedication to Ikigai. Sharing his quotes, the important thing is what was done, and keep going, don't change your path. Powerful.
The core message really boils down to this. Find and nurture your Ikigai. It brings meaning, flow, happiness.
And a warning about modern life distracting us. Money, power, success.
Right. Don't let those external things take over your true nature.
Instead, listen to your intuition. Follow curiosity.
Yes, those are your internal guides. Follow what you enjoy, change what you dislike, engage in meaningful, joyful activities, even small ones. Parenting, helping neighbors.
No perfect strategy, but the Okinawan lesson is don't worry too much about finding it.
Exactly. Life isn't a problem to solve. Just have something that keeps you busy doing what you love, with people you love.
And the book finishes with those 10 rules distilled from Ugimi.
Yes, a great summary. 1. Stay active, don't retire. 2. Take it slow. 3. Don't fill your stomach, 80%. 4. Surround yourself with good friends. 5. Get in shape for your next birthday.
6. Smile.
Better.
7. Reconnect with nature. 8. Give thanks. 9. Live in the moment. And 10. Follow your Ikigai.
It covers everything we've discussed. From both of us here at the Deep Dive, we wish you a long, happy, and purposeful life.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration of Ikigai.